Hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you stopping by. And I just want to go ahead and say this last video that I put up, somebody had mentioned that there was something up with the audio. Now, I listened to it, and it did sound a little different. Didn't seem like it was really a problem, but I was using a mic. I'm using a mic now. So there's a little bit of editing that I can do. Hopefully, it works out okay. I try to remove some of the background noise because I've got pretty almost like mud tires on this truck and it's loud. And I'm trying to take advantage of some time that I have as I'm driving down the interstate. So today, I want to talk a little bit about survival groups and MAGs or MOGs, however you want to say it. And they can be very controversial, and I have some experience in being a member of a MOG and some of the issues that can come up, and also trying to put them together. And I just want to go over, I don't have any notes or anything. I just want to give a few thoughts and share your comments below, whether you have experience with them or not, ideas. I'd like to hear what you have to say. So, first off, getting a group of like-minded people that are into preparedness, they're concerned about the future, is very difficult in my experience. And that's what I hear from others. It's very difficult. And one of the reasons is that preppers, I hate that term, preppers, survivalists, whatever, they're distrusting right from the start. You know, it's all anti-government. They're listening to us. There's probably listening devices in the toilet paper. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of folks out there that go on the extreme with some of this stuff. By the way, it doesn't mean they're wrong. But they're just distrusting. So trying to get a group of those kind of people together is very difficult. And in my experience, it's not easy. And all you can do is you keep trying. Those folks that are on such the extreme that they refuse to meet up with like-minded people, well, they're going to be lone wolves. They're not going to be a member of a group. And that's definitely not the way to go. So, suggestions on how to get a group of like-minded people, absolutely, it could be local Facebook groups. If there's a local gun shop, if you meet up with people there, you get to maybe know some people. You might get to know people at work. And I understand the whole OPSEC thing and being gray, but at some point, if you want to form a group, you have to put yourself out there to some level. Meetup.com is a possibility. I believe they have an app now. We used them several years ago. And they have, you could schedule a meetup in your area and have people come out. But that's a way that you can meet some like-minded people, and then you can vet those people and see those that you think really would fit with you and other people. It doesn't mean everybody in the meetup group have to become a member of your survival group. No, you might find one or two people over time, and then maybe it turns into 3 or 4. And so that's, those are a few ideas on how you might be able to find some folks that could be members. Second thing I'm going to mention is you got to have some rules. And yeah, it's like any other club. You got to have some rules, and some basic rules at that you don't talk about Fight Club. They should not be out there publicizing the other members of the group and what you're doing, what you're talking about, stuff like that. That doesn't mean you're, secret squirrel code words and everybody's got a special decoder ring, but just some common sense that you don't talk about Fight Club. What happens in the group and it stays within the group. And the other thing, and I just popped into my head, is you've got to be able to pull spouses or partners in. If you have a group member and their husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is not of the same mindset, they're not like-minded. Imagine if you had a member and the wife was absolutely anti-gun. That could be a problem. So you got to look into things like that. Use some common sense. Another aspect. One suggestion would be, there was a guy in the group that I was in. I ended up moving away, and I miss those guys. But I ended up moving away, and one of the guys has suggested that in order to join the group, you had to have a concealed weapons permit, because that means that they went through some type of background check or regulatory check. I thought that was a decent idea. Obviously, it depends on your state and your area, whether that's a good suggestion or not. You guys need to meet on a regular basis. And one of the problems that can come up is if you meet every month, every 2 weeks, and then folks are constantly missing those meetings, that's a problem. And there needs to be, and by the way, I'm not telling you that in my experience, the group that I was in did everything right. We didn't. A lot of stuff probably could have been done better, and I'll hold my hand up to say that I was younger and I was a little more naive to some of these things. But you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your experiences, and you move on. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is share some of these experiences. And people need to be able to speak very open, say what's on their mind, and people need to have thicker skins. And if somebody is called out to say, hey, out of the last 6 meetings, you missed 4 of them, those are facts. And unless there's really, important extenuating circumstances, they got to improve their attendance, or maybe they're out. That's just the reality of it. If they can't be for the group before some critical situation occurs, what's the chances they're going to be there after? And so that's the reality of it. So I just saw something interesting on the road. So, those are a few things about putting together a survival group. People need to be dedicated to it. Obviously they have a life, they probably have a career, but they got to be dedicated to it. And I think the group, usually it's the founding members, they have a goal for the group. Is the goal to eventually establish a retreat, a bug out location? Maybe that's at one of the members' property and it's already, established. You think about that, because if you end up having, 20 members and 6 of them stop coming, they know about the bug out retreat. How devastating is that to the group? Things you got to think about. You got to have some goals to say, what are we looking to do? Is it, this is just a meetup group and we're just going to meet up and talk, and if somebody needs some help with, some yard work or something, it's a MAG, mutual assistant group. Hey, we could be there to help each other out. Or is it a true survival group, and we're anticipating some very difficult times coming up. So we want to go in together and buy food and store it somewhere. We're wanting to buy ammunition, store it somewhere, different supplies, and store it somewhere. I mean, these are the things that you guys have got to talk about. Maybe you have some standard operating procedures or some type of policies that you have written out. If it gets to that point, great. That everybody understands, what if something catastrophic were to happen, this is where we're going to go. These are the trigger points, and this is what is expected of people. Another aspect of this is the makeup of the group. And I've seen some stuff online where it's emphasized, but it's almost overemphasized. And I'll explain why. They talk about, if you could get a Navy SEAL to be a member of your group. I mean, come on. Yeah, maybe in some locations that's a possibility. Having somebody in the military is great, but I know and have met plenty of people in the military, and I'm not anti-military whatsoever. Absolutely, quite the opposite. But just because you're in the military doesn't make you some operator, tactical Joe or whatever. That's not the case. So, it's good to have a diverse group of people. If you can have somebody that has a medical background, that's a nurse, paramedic, EMT, that's great. You can also have everybody take basic first aid and CPR classes. If you have somebody that's a carpenter, plumbing expert, or has experience in that could be beneficial. Somebody that knows very, very handyman, that could be good. Somebody that has a good amount of experience and training with firearms and tactical situations, cover, concealment, stuff like that, that's great too. You can also, together, you can go take classes and become experienced in things like that. So that's another option. What's really important is that group, that they meld and they mesh, that the personalities in good times don't have conflict. I mean, I'm going to say it again. If in good times people are arguing and they're not getting along, what's going to happen in the bad times when there's a lot of stress, a lot of tension? It's going to get worse. And another thing I'll mention is I've seen quite a few comments from older folks, seasoned citizens, if you will, about, I can't do the stuff. I can't, I'm not going to be out there running around doing, run and gun. And one of the things that I want to say about that is that's, everybody has a place. Everybody can have a place, especially if you make a place for everybody. You could have somebody that is older, very experienced in life and numerous things, and they have a skill set or a multitude of skill sets, and they could be super valuable for the retreat, for the group. Imagine that you have somebody and they are great at organization. Maybe they took care of a tool cage for a large company that had a huge maintenance shop. So they were really good at keeping up with inventories. That could be valuable in a survival group. And if you had a retreat somewhere, again, it might be on somebody's property, or maybe somebody has a camp, 45 minutes away on the side of a mountain, and there's a shed there and you're storing stuff there. This guy could be responsible for keeping up with the inventory of what's added as well as maybe what's used. So just because somebody is up there in age or maybe even has a handicap doesn't mean that they don't have value. So I'm sure I left a ton out in this discussion about mags and survival groups. I mean, it's a big topic, and maybe I'll do another video. And like I said, I was involved in one for quite some time and really enjoyed it. I miss those guys, and yeah, I'd like to talk more about it. But what are your thoughts? If you have some experience with this, comment below. And I tell you, it's important. It's important to have a group, especially nowadays, because the lone wolf, if something truly bad happens, it's not going to be good to just be a single person or a single family trying to make it. So anyways, that's it. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Share this with somebody that's like-minded. Maybe somebody you want to start a group with. And above all, stay safe. Take care. We'll see you next time.
So I ran from the cities and the noise and lies, found a piece of ground under open skies, hands in the dirt, sweat on my shirt, learning what living's really worth. While crooked men shake hands in rooms, selling souls to corporate suits. Society's sick, but I found the cure. A back road life, honest and pure. They can keep their throne and their golden news. This life out here's my modern exodus. I traded screens for a sunrise, callous palms, blisters, pride, planted seeds where hope was.